Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
We're here because of a common cause that we all believe in, and because of the recent events that have been going on in Palestine. And so first of all, I'd like to say that regardless of what's happened in the past month in Palestine, we're here to show solidarity because of the ongoing struggle that has always occurred in Palestine for the past 67 years, and still to today, nothing has really changed.
The Edmonton Coalition Against War and Racism condemns the collective punishment and violence against the Palestinian people by the government of Israel. We believe in the right to self-determination for all people without imperialistic interference, and this includes Palestine. We call on everyone to work for an anti-war government in Canada. There can be no solution without recognizing the rights of the Palestinian people. I am also the Alberta representative on the National Steering Committee of Independent Jewish Voices, or IJV for short. Independent Jewish Voices is a national human rights organization whose mandate is to promote a just resolution to the dispute in Israel and Palestine through the application of international law and respect for the human rights of all parties. The bottom line is that the occupation is not only illegal and immoral, but bad for the futures of both Israelis and Palestinians. It is causing misery and death for both peoples, and they deserve better. It is time for Canada's government to stop supporting the policies of the Israeli government and to take a stand against the brutal occupation of the Palestinians.
We gather this evening to demand a stand that represents the majority of Canadians. We reject state terror. We reject it. We need your voice. We need your voice. And we want to send a clear message tonight on behalf of all the voiceless people. Today we need to write to our Member of Parliament, please, to tell them, stop the attack on Palestine. Gaza is under attack. This is not fair. It ought to stop. It has to stop. And it should stop now.
Palestine, don't you cry. We will never let you die.
Palestine, don't you cry. We will never let you die.
Palestine, don't you cry. We will never let you die.
Palestine, don't you cry. We will never let you die.
Palestine, don't you cry. We will never let you die.
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
My name is Reverend Audrey Brooks. I'm the Unitarian chaplain at the University of Alberta. And this is the 6th year that we've had the annual Genocide Memorial Service, and commemorating people who lost their lives through violence, planned violence, wars, slavery, gender identities, and so on. And continuing to act as witness to the kind of atrocities that humanity does to each other.
What gave you the idea to build this riverbed, dry riverbed on your own property, and to have this event every year?
Mm-hmm. My son, who's a landscape artist, was the one who did the dry riverbed. And I had visited Europe and visited the Jewish memorial synagogues and places where people visited the cemeteries, and they placed little rocks as to indicate that they were there and to honor the people who had influenced their lives. I came back to Canada and decided I would put a stone in the riverbed for the Holocaust and the 6 million Jewish people and all of the gypsies and dissidents and people who spoke out against the Nazi regime were put into concentration camps as well and died horrible deaths. And then I was listening to CBC and heard the Congolese army raping virgins to get their power against AIDS and power for war. And I decided it had to be a general memorial to all people who had suffered death through violence. And the first year that I did the service, several people came in. Among them were 2 Zimbabwean young men, and they said that I had to continue to act as a witness to atrocities. And so it's been continued since then.
And what do you hope that will be accomplished here today through the service?
Accomplished here today is that people who resonate with the idea that, as the stone says, that humanity stands in a river of its own blood, that unless we act as witness and speak out and work in any way that we can to make changes in the way governments use genocide and how partisan people in the name of religion use genocide as a way of accomplishing victory in war. It's a sad situation that needs to be changed, and I can't go over to these countries and talk them out of doing things like that, but I can do a small thing in my world, and along with other people who believe like I do, to gather together and to speak out against genocide.
All I know is I saw a man on his knees. I think it was my dad. A gun pointed at his head. I think they said Tutamuua, which means we will kill him. I think people were crying in the background. I can't really remember. I guess I'm trying to forget. I don't remember what happened again, I guess. I just tried to forget. They took everything. I guess so. They took everything that we had. But I was too young, I guess, again. And as I said, I tried, and I tried to remember, to not remember, to forget. But little did I know that way, way worse things were happening in the east of Congo.
That as children of God, we are one. To include even if we have been shunned, to love even if we have been hated, to forgive despite our facing oppression, to do what is right and just without expecting the same in return, to stand by what is right and just even if it be against our own people, to become truly inclusive, to unconditionally and selflessly love one another. For it is only then we can be at peace, and it is only then we can have peace.